Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, go ahead and leave me a message so I know you're there. Otherwise, welcome, whether you're watching live or in real time. It's so nice to see you. Hey, Ashley. Yes, how are you doing today? So I am talking about the balance of power today. And so I talk a lot about feminine power. And I just want to bring you back to the yin yang symbol before I even start. So the yin yang symbol, right? It's got the two opposites connecting, but there's a little circle of the other thing within each, right? So within one there is the other, right? So within the masculine there is the feminine, within the feminine there is the masculine. They blend, they combine. And for so many years, so many centuries, generations of living in patriarchal society, we have come to really know and value and appreciate the masculine qualities. However, we have really pushed down the feminine. We have kind of diminished it, making it more nonsensical, not rational, women's intuition, silly, and not honoring that quality. And at a certain point, what women did was, right, so obviously, women are not feeling heard. They're undervalued, right? Because when what comes so naturally to you is like diminished, it's like, oh, well, what value do I have? Like all the stuff I'm good at is silly, right? And, I think this is where a lot of women's issues of worthiness really come to fruition. Um, but at a certain point, women started to step up and they said, we want to be heard, we want to be seen, right? We're equal, we're just as important, we're just as valuable, we're just as worthy. Unfortunately, the way that it was done was women embraced the masculine. They jumped in, they said, look, we can do the masculine too. And that's great. And what it did was brought about so much change and so much more equality for women, right? In a lot of ways. But in other ways, it didn't. It didn't. What ended up happening was now women were expected to do the masculine and the feminine. And they were expected to do everything. There's so many expectations on women now. Dot is saying, yes, we have learned we are not worthy by the external opinions of oppressiveness. Yeah. And yeah, it's just, and it's not like one person is just being a turd and saying you're not worthy, but it's just generations of programming that have been passed down. And after so long, it's like you don't even know why you behave this way. You don't know why this is the belief. It just is. Like we have this, you know, response that like we just react to things in a certain way because that's just how we've been programmed to behave. And so when women really stepped up, but then they took on the masculine, we sort of had this even further imbalance of power, right? So now everybody's in the masculine, nobody's in the feminine. I mean, even men are disempowered now, right? Because it's just an imbalance. You look at that yin yang and it's all on one side. It's going flub, right? It's not in balance. It's not that beautiful circle. And now we're in this place of women are constantly busy, 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 busy. And it's not healthy. Busyness is not healthy for women, especially because it's not in the feminine. It's not part of our natural. For women, natural feminine qualities are being in the flow, of being connected to our intuition, of being just in alignment, in joy, in pleasure. Those are very feminine characteristics. But because we've pushed them away, we find ourselves out of balance. And I don't mean just women. I mean men also are out of balance, right? Because they're that other side of the yin yang equation, right? With that little piece, there's that little piece of feminine for them as well, and that's not honored either. So they're finding themselves out of balance. Let's see, Dot is saying, and women highly feminine struggle to be masculine and are then lower than everyone because they miss the benchmarks others can meet. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I hear a lot of women say that they've tried to be very masculine, or they've gone, they felt like they had to do it the masculine way, whatever it is in their life, their business, their work, whatever. They felt like they had to do it masculine. And I know for me, actually, I didn't. I never did the masculine, but I always felt like there was something wrong with me. Like, oh, I'm not a high achiever. Oh, I'm not meant for great things. Oh, I'm not meant for success because that feels wrong to me. When all along, it was just that was natural. That was what was right. And it took me a really long time to learn that just because it's in the feminine doesn't mean it's wrong. Now, ultimately, I do need to balance things too. We all do, right? The feminine and the masculine, right? So I love the example of we receive the download, feminine, right? This is our mission. This is what we're meant to do. So then we take action, masculine. We start moving into it. We start doing things, right? Because it's not handed to us. We have to take action. But yet, while we do so, we're in joy, we're in pleasure because this was intuitively designed just for me, right? So it's in pleasure, the feminine, right? And then we want to communicate it to the world, like however we need to get it out there, whether it be work or family, we need to be in communication, and that needs to be direct, and that's the masculine, right? So we take that back and forth, that balance of masculine and feminine. And that is when we're in alignment. I know I can't tell you how many times where I've been, really working for something, like I convinced myself, like, okay, I'm going to do the masculine way. And for me, it's always like those short bursts because I have a very difficult time maintaining that. And so I'll do that. I'll burn myself out, but I'll kind of go and just feel like nothing's happening, like I'm beating my head on a brick wall. And it's because I'm not connecting to that intuition. I'm not incorporating the feminine. So again, finding that balance so that, there's more of a flow of energy and you can really accomplish things that way. And, just even in general, how we relate to each other. You know, we as women have got to step up. It's our time. Like it's all happening. I don't know if you feel the energy, but the divine feminine is coming more and more. There's books coming out, Becoming an Empowered Empath, one of my favorites, right? Such a great book. And empath, like that's all about the feminine and getting into, your intuition and just embracing your gifts. And so these are the things that are coming out more now, that feminine quality. Dot says natural instincts utilize our illicit knowledge and skills. Yeah, we've got to really embrace and step into what's natural for us, because as we do that, as we step into that goddess, that queen version of ourselves, now we give the men permission, right? Because when one is disempowered, we're all disempowered. We're all connected, right? And so, if we can't be queen, then they can't be king. We all rise together, right? The true power is where we lift each other up. It's not pulling anybody down. That's broken. That's actually unworthiness, right? So that is not. So when we're feeling that we want to pull someone else down to our level, no, let's look up and reach up to them, right? We want to all collectively push each other up. And of course, we're all in different phases and in different places, and we just, when that does happen, whether it be us or someone else, forgiveness, and that's okay. But truly, the embracing of the feminine qualities, the embracing of all that you are truly meant to be in the way that you are meant to do it is so important and so powerful and so needed right now, so that we can all, level up and step up. So, my loves, I hope that this was inspiring for you. Keep those comments coming. I love hearing from you. And if you hadn't noticed, at 9:30 now, we've moved them back. That was part of my being in the flow. Something kept coming up, where it kept pushing the time. I said, you know what? Instead of waiting, I'm just going to do it right away and move it to 9:30. So 9:30 Mondays for Imperfectly Amazing, and generally 9:30 Wednesdays for Clarity with Clue. But I will not be here this Wednesday. I am headed to the desert for a retreat. So super excited to be inspired there and bring it all back to you. So I hope you are having an amazing week. I will see you next week. All right, my love. Mwah. Bye.